Things started. Captain Donald, welcome back to Bethpage. As you embark on your second Ryder Cup as European captain, what are your thoughts on your team, the black course, and the challenge ahead?
Yeah, thank you. I think the last 3.5 years, being able to do this captaincy twice has been one of the most rewarding things in my life. It's been a privilege and to obviously get an opportunity to do one home and one away. It's something not a lot of people have had that opportunity, and I certainly don't take it for granted. As I said, some of the best moments of my career have been in Ryder Cups as player, as a vice captain, and now as captain. And very excited about this week. We understand the challenge ahead. I have a great team, a team that I'm very confident in, a team that has a lot of form, and a team that's been together quite a lot over the last few years. But very excited to be here at Bethpage Black, obviously in New York. I think it's an incredible location, state park, a public facility, and very excited for it to get going. It's been a long build-up, and now it's time to let the guys go play.
Thank you very much, Luke. Captain Bradley, how's it feel to finally be here at Bethpage with the opening matches just a few days away?
Yeah, it feels really amazing, especially sitting next here to Luke Donald. I came here as an 18-year-old kid going to St. John's, played the Red Course as our home tournament, and to come back as the Ryder Cup captain is something beyond my wildest dreams. So it's been a really magical week for us so far. Being around the guys and just seeing how well they're bonded and being out at this incredible venue has been unbelievable. This has been one of the most incredible things I've ever experienced in my life, and to experience it alongside a friend like Luke Donald and an amazing team of Europe that's coming off a great win has been awesome. And every day that I get up and get to hang with our guys and come out to this amazing golf course and experience a Ryder Cup again. It's been a long time since I've been in a Ryder Cup, and I can't tell you how amazing it's been to see the American flag, to see the Ryder Cup logo, and to be a part of this great tournament again.
Thank you very much, Keegan. Let's open up the floor to questions. Start right here on microphone number 7, please.
Hey guys, 2 subjects if I may. First, can we talk about course setup? Keegan, have you done anything to give your team an edge? Luke, do you see anything that's been done to the course that might be a disadvantage to you guys?
What do you think, LD?
We haven't been out as a team this week so far. We were out here Monday and Tuesday for a practice trip. I think it's nothing really out of the ordinary of what we expected. You look at previous Ryder Cups, held in the U.S. Not a ton of rough. The greens are a good speed. I think Bethpage is a tough course, but it's certainly not set up like a U.S. Open. So I think you're going to have to expect to go out there and make some birdies. These are world-class players.
Yeah, I think we sort of look at the analytical data and how our players perform at their best, and we set the course up accordingly. One of the great things about being the home captain is to be able to have a little say in how the course is set up. But again, the courses, I've been out here, I've played this course 50 to 100 times. This is probably the best condition I've ever seen it. Really proud of the superintendent and the staff out here to get this course to look this amazing.
And as a follow-up on a lighter note, one of the things the Ryder Cup is known for is the atmosphere, the songs. You hear a lot of songs over the years. Have you guys got a favorite or something that you've heard that you thought was particularly amusing or memorable?
I think there's lots of songs and chants that have been around in Ryder Cups for many years. I feel like our team is very good at coming up with new ones for depending on who the players are there. There's so many to think about, but I think what makes Ryder Cups fun is the atmosphere, is that the energy that it brings. It really is an environment that you want to experience as a player, because it's nothing quite like it that you get to play in an individual tournament. So, I think these guys embrace that. They thrive in it, and they're looking forward to hearing the noise out there.
Yeah, I think You know, what I love about the Ryder Cup is I feel like every hole is the last hole of a tournament. So you can kind of let that emotion out. And I think you see a lot of players that play with a lot of emotion play well at Ryder Cups because they don't have to hold it in. I'm constantly trying to hold it in my whole career. And, you know, when you come out in an exciting environment like this, you can let that emotion out and enjoy it, even on the first hole on Friday, which is always fun. I always really enjoyed the European chants. They're very creative and fun. Ours are a little bit more USA oriented, but I really enjoy the atmosphere that happens at Ryder Cups and can't wait to see the one here in New York.
Over to Mark on one, please.
This is for Keegan and Luke. In terms of captain versus captain, you guys aren't playing each other, obviously, you know, the club's in your hand, but I'm kind of curious, you know, I know, Keegan, you're a big team sport guy, and I'm sure you've second-guessed your Red Sox manager a number of times over the years. You guys will be second-guessed by the fans or whatever and whatnot in the decisions you make. How much do you feel like captain versus captain is a factor in terms of the decisions you guys make and et cetera, in terms of the, you know, the end result this week?
Well, you know, I certainly am well aware of what an incredible person Luke is to start. You know, he's a guy I've spent a lot of time with over the years. Really fun person to be around. I know how he can rally a group of players. I also am very aware of what an incredible captain he is. You know, as far as I'm concerned, he's one of the greatest European captains ever. So it's a tall task for me to match up against Luke Donald, but I got a great crew around me, a group of vice captains, Jim Furyk, Brandt Snedeker, all these guys, and an incredible team of players. So it's really difficult. I'm not trying to match what Luke's doing. We got our own team. I'm worried about what my team is doing, but I have nothing but extreme respect for Luke Donald and what he's done in his career and for the Ryder Cup Europe.
Yeah, I mean, likewise. Have so much respect for Keegan and what he's done in his career, and we look at our team, you know, first and foremost. We're not looking at what the U.S. are doing. I really do hope that the captain has a little bit of an influence. You know, we spend a lot of time. Keegan's been through it now himself. He understands the hours and the preparation that goes into being a captain, looking at all the little details about how you can try and find little edges and get the guys prepared. You know, ultimately, it's my job to get those guys in the right frame of mind, performing at the highest level that they can perform on the golf course. You know, if things go wrong, then yeah, there'll be lots of questions aimed at me, and that's the responsibility you take as a captain. But you know, again, you hope that with the preparation, it will hopefully help your team, give them a better opportunity.
If I could just a quick follow. Do you, each of you, feel that in your own ways that you can be some slight difference maker for each of your teams this week with the things you do and how you do it?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that, you know, my main goal is to put these players in their best position to play well. And, you know, when you do that, you know, the guys can go out and perform at their highest level. So, you know, but ultimately the players are going to decide the Ryder Cup. But I definitely think the captain and the vice captains, you know, their main goal here, their main job is to put the players in the best position to play at their best. And every day that we go out, whether it's Friday of the tournament or a practice round like today, we want to make sure the guys are in the right state of mind, with the right mindset of what we want to do during the week, and get them prepared to be ready to go on Friday morning.
Yeah, I mean, again, reiterate what I said. I think just like in other sports, you know, coaches, they have an impact on the game, right? They should. The way they put their players out, you know, the pairings, whatever it might be. There's so much preparation that goes into this that you hope, as a captain, you have some kind of influence on the end results.
Go next right here to Mike 3, followed by Mike 20.
Oh, hi, thank you. Keegan, could I ask a question about your path in golf in general? I'm from the Boston Globe, so I kind of wanted to ask you to reflect on, when you think about what shaped you that time in Massachusetts, how that was different maybe from the paths you saw other guys take to the pros, and kind of just how maybe that shaped you a bit.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of players from New England on the PGA Tour, but you know, I think the people of New England and the Northeast have a grit mindset to them. And you know, I had such a finite time to practice golf. I grew up in Vermont. We had like really severe winters, and then Boston was actually like going south. I could hit some shots later in the year, but I had this very specific, I had to capitalize on this time to hit balls, get ready to play, prepare to, someday do this. So, as I got older and I was able to play year round, I still have that mentality. I still have that mentality today of I can't waste a second of this day. And I think when you grow up in New England and whether you're trying to be a golfer or work, you want to get your job done. You want to be the best you can at your job. And I carry around the Northeast in New England with me everywhere I go. That's my identity. And I love that I grew up there. I love that, I'm a little bit different than the guys out here, and there's nothing I'm more proud of than representing that part of the world.
Yeah, good afternoon. Question for Keegan, please, about the US team getting paid for the first time this year. Just over here. Can you just explain to us why you've decided to give all your money to charity? And just to clarify, are all your team going to follow your example? Have you got a unified approach to this?
Well, the PGA of America came to me. They wanted to bring the Ryder Cup into the present day. The charity dollars hadn't changed since 1999, and they asked me to sort of shepherd their way into making it into 2025. I think for everyone it's a personal decision. A lot of guys aren't comfortable sharing what they're going to do with their money, but we're going to donate. And for us, the PGA of America, this happens after the Ryder Cup, so this is something that we'll worry about after. But ultimately, the PGA of America asked me to help out with this, and this is the best way we came up to do it.
So just to clarify, why are you giving your money, all of your money? Why are you giving your stipend as well as the charity donation?
I think that's a personal decision. I don't donate to charities to publicize what we're doing. These guys on our team are incredible people, and they do a lot of incredible things with charity dollars and with their foundations, and a lot of them aren't comfortable sharing that sort of information, and I feel the same way.
Go next to Mike 9, followed by 11 and 14.
This is for both of you guys. You talked the uniqueness of you guys living so close to each other, and you talk about being friends. So how much do you see each other, whether it's at 1,000 North or a Bears Club, and how does that play into this? It's a very unique situation.
Yeah, as I said, I've known Keegan, 12, 13 years now. We're someones that we would play practice rounds together on the road. We would have dinners together. We had mutual friends. Again, Keegan is someone that I've rooted for. If he did well in a tournament, won a tournament, I would text him. And likewise back. I think we definitely have a good, strong friendship. And I think there's a mutual respect there. We understand, both being in the arena, we understand exactly the difficulties of professional golf, and we celebrate our victories together, I think. And, it's nice to have a captain, your captain opposite you, someone that you know and respect a lot. And, I think we're also very, very competitive. And, that's not going to change this week. I think we'll have a drink on Sunday night, no matter what the result. But, this week is about trying to get our teams to win, and we want to win. And I think we, are very similar in that personality. I think the captaincy for me, just like it has been for Keegan has been quite enlightening and helpful. I think we're both somewhat introverts in a way, and it's kind of taught us to go more out of our comfort zones. And so, I see a lot of similarities between us, but there's definitely a deep respect amongst us.
Yeah, for me, there's not many people I like more in the golf world than Luke Donald. I came out on tour in 2011, and he was #1 in the world. And he was the first real, quote-unquote, top player to treat me with the respect that I couldn't believe. I get to go out and play with Luke Donald, who's the best player in the world. He played with all of my buddies that I went to St. John's with. I loved hanging out and having a drink with Luke Donald. But like he said, we want to go out there and win. We want to go out there and put our teams in the best position to do well. But, ultimately, like we chatted, I wanted to be the first one to tell Luke that I was the Ryder Cup captain here out of respect to him, because we we talk a lot about the Ryder Cup, you know, throughout our lives. And, you know, I really feel lucky to have Luke on the opposite side because we send each other texts, we joke around, but we know once the competition comes, we want to win. And like Luke said, come Sunday night, I can't wait to have a drink with Luke Donald and sit down and try to enjoy this even more.
Mike 11.
Keegan, just following on from Neil's question there about the payment for your team, what do you say to those who take that as evidence that it means more to Europe?
Well, I'm not concerned about what Europe does or what they think. I'm concerned about what my team's doing. And you know, I was tasked with the job the PGA of America asked me to do, and you know, this was what we decided. And you know, we wanted to bring the Ryder Cup into today's age, and we felt like this was the best way to do it. We copied a lot about what the President's Cup does, and you know, we did the best we could. And I think a lot of good is going to come from this. I think the players are going to do a lot of good with this money, and I think it's great.
I mean, obviously, you rightly recognise that the players are able to do a lot of good with it, but I think the optics of it are questionable, given the finances already involved in golf. Do you have any regret about that aspect at all?
I don't really get that, but I think, you know, the goal here was the charity dollars hadn't been raised in 26 years, and that's what we started out doing. And we did a lot of what the President's Cup did, and these players are going to do the right thing and do a lot of really good with this money. I mean, you can say that, but I think that the players are really good people and are going to do a lot of good things.
Bob and then Doug, please.
Keegan, back here. Obviously, it's been a while now since you came to terms with the decision you made to not play. Just wondering if, as you got here over the weekend or even today in practice, if there's just any tinge of wonder what it might have been like if you were, and what those emotions were like.
Definitely. I've thought about it every second. But I've also thought about how impossible it would be. You know, I like I said earlier, I was picked to do this job as captain. And there's been certain things that I've done during the week or lead up that if I was playing, I don't think I could have done at the level that I needed to do them at. And, you know, I catch myself every now and then looking down the fairway, seeing the guys walk down the fairway and think how badly I'd want to do that. And how badly I'd want to be in that group with Scotty Scheffler and seeing him play and being his teammate. But I feel like I've been called for a bigger cause here to help our guys get ready to play and play at the highest level. But in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking that I could have been out there, but ultimately, I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed being the captain. And, you know, how I've enjoyed not having to worry about getting to sleep and getting my rest, or how I haven't had to think about what time I'm going to go practice or meet my coach and then meet the guys. So it's simplified things a lot for me.
Doug?
One for each, if I could. Luke, do you feel this is a better team than you had at Marco Simone?
It's a very similar team, which is unusual. Never happened in the history of our Ryder Cup teams in Europe to have 11 come back. So we have a lot of cohesion, you know, and I think part of a captain's job is to try and form the team, is to try and get these guys together and kind of bonding and being a team. And I certainly haven't had to work that hard with these guys because of what we did 2 years ago. Even Rasmus, you know, was on the buggy for Nikolai and spent time there. So I think statistically, there are some guys who are a lot better players than they were in Rome. I'm sure the U.S. are very strong too. I mean, you just look at the talent the U.S. have. They have the best player in the world. He's doing incredible things. They have a bunch of superstars as well. But we understand that it's going to be a big challenge, but I'm very excited about my team, where we are, the form we have coming into this. And I'm excited about getting going on Friday.
I was looking for a yes or no, but that works. and Keegan, for you, what was the purpose of the gathering kind of you had on the first tee this morning?
Well, I think it's anytime that guys can be together, and I think it's really powerful to be on that first tee without the crowds and just be you guys. Every second that the guys are together can have a powerful moment. I think it brings them closer together, and that was a really fun time to be out there with those guys and share that moment and hear the national anthem. I really think that I had this vision of doing that for about a year, and to be out there and see it and see how emotional the guys got, it was really a special time for our team.
In front with Ann.
Well, 2 years ago, we had Novak Djokovic came to our team. Again, I'm not going to share who we have or who we might not have coming to the team. But again, my job is to, one, obviously get the guys ready, but create an experience for them that they'll never forget. We want to create a week where they have the most fun on and off the golf course. So we work very hard, myself, my wife, on creating a week where they're going to remember this no matter what. These are great experiences to be a part of the Ryder Cup. Sometimes, if you might only get one chance at this. Sometimes you might have 8 or 9 chances, but everyone is very special for them. And we try and do a lot of things during the week that has a lot of meaning, has a lot of value. And we love to, make this one of the best weeks of their lives.
We'll go up top here for a couple. Martin, then James.
Luke, your players are wearing salmon pink today, which I believe represents a win on US soil in '87, and that's going to be a theme over the next few days. Can you talk about the importance of that message to your players?
Yeah, I think it's always important to rally around something. We always have things that we come up with that are important to us, and history and our unity and celebrating what we've done in the past and the legends that have kind of come before us is really important. So, yeah, I wanted to focus on that. Yes, this is going to be a difficult challenge. We haven't come close to winning 3 out of the last 4 away Ryder Cups. It's not been very close at all. That's my job to bridge that gap. But we have won quite a few times. We've won 4 times away since 1987. And come close a few other times as well. But I think that's motivating to the guys that it can be done, it has been done, and again, we're here to try and do it again.
Keegan, up here. When you brought the guys out to the first tee, I'm just wondering, whose reaction were you most surprised by?
Well, I wasn't really surprised. It was a powerful moment. You looking around and seeing all the guys that, staring at what we were doing and so into it in such an emotional way. A lot of people have worked really hard to get to that point, to this point in their lives. Like Luke said, you never know when your last Ryder Cup is. You never know if you're going to play 1 or 10 or whatever. And, for a lot of guys, whether it was the players, the caddies, the coaches, to be on that first tee in New York City at Bethpage Black at a Ryder Cup is a very powerful moment. And, sometimes in your life and in your career, you have to take stock in what's happening around you. I think one of my biggest regrets early in my career wasn't enjoying things more. And, for that moment out this morning, guys were really taking that in and enjoying it, and that was a beautiful thing.
Microphone 13, please.
Hey, Luke, over here. What is the single greatest piece of advice that you could give Keegan going into this, having done this before?
That's a tough one to give advice to someone you're trying to beat this week. It really is. But I think he nailed it on the head. You have to enjoy these moments. That being a captain is not easy. There's a lot of build-up. There's a lot that goes into it. It's more than just turning up this week and having your players and coming up with some pairings. There's a lot of intricacies to this, and you can get engulfed and a little bit swallowed up sometimes in the little details. And I think all I would say is both of us, we need to embrace it, enjoy it, because these are opportunities you don't get very often. I was extremely fortunate to get this 2 years ago, and to have a chance to do it twice is incredible. And it's certainly something I do not ever take for granted. So I would just say, enjoy this week, Keegan.
Great. It looks like that's it for questions. So, captains, thank you for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.